Hey, Team 21. Today's the day. A year from today is today. We'll all be going down to Bonneville. But today I'm going down with the team chief, my buddy Bill, who was the team chief in 2016, 17, and 19, and he'll be the team chief 2021. Is going down with me. Bill's just getting off work. He's been working 12 hours. So he's going to get here, he's going to pile up in the van, and we're going to travel 6 hours down. Hopefully we'll get there in time for the riders meeting. I think you're going to find this video very enlightening, and hopefully you'll watch it so you have a real good idea of what you're getting into when you come here in 2021. So, and for other new riders who are considering going down to Bonneville, this will be a good video for you to watch after you watch the first 9 videos I have up for how you prepare to get to this day. So you can watch these, but you need to watch the other ones because you'll never get to this day unless you do. Or you'll get there. Maybe it'll be a little tougher. All right, goodbye. Well, we're just coming past the Wendover Cowboy there on the right. I don't know if you saw that from the camera angle we were at. We'll get a better picture of it next time. If not, we'll go into town later today.
What's that cowboy's name, Jerry?
I don't know.
It's Wendover Willie.
Wendover Willie.
Yep.
That's a great name. You can see that cowboy in the same movie, World's Fastest Indian. If you go in here and look on the right-hand side are some of the where the casinos are. The casinos mostly sit on the Nevada-Utah border, and the actual racing is done in Utah, but most of the casinos are straddling the border. Generally, we stay at the Montego Bay, which is, we haven't passed that yet. I think that's just coming up here.
It's right there, straight in front of us.
Right there in front of us, yeah. So that's where we'll stay. The Salt is about 15 or 20 minutes away from that. So we're running pretty good on time right now. We're running 7:28 Mountain Time. And the way this works is the Nevada is in Pacific Time. However, the Utah is in Mountain Time. So the Salt is always run on Mountain Time. And because of that relationship, this particular city of Wendover is one of the cities that actually runs on Mountain Time. The rest of the state, I think pretty much, there might be another city that runs on Mountain Time, but it's pretty much just this city here. So when you go to bed, you don't have to reset your clocks for make a difference between Mountain and Pacific Time. It's all be the same. So we left this morning about 3 o'clock. So it's taken us about, we stopped to get gas. It's taken us about 4.5 hours to get to this point. So 5 hours traveling with no trailers, and probably 6 hours traveling with trailers. So if we leave at 3 o'clock in the morning with trailers and stuff, we'll probably get us here around 9 o'clock. Okay, we're coming up on exit 4, the Bonneville Speedway. We're heading 80 east. And usually by the time I get off of this and we made it over the overpass, we can kind of see the condition of what we're going to see on Salt. So the SCTA website generally will have the salt conditions posted, but since I'm not running this year, I haven't paid particular attention to what it was. The weather report is good all this week. It's supposed to be dry and fairly hot. So
Yeah, our temperatures come up pretty good. It was 55 degrees before the sun came up, and we're at 70 already.
and that's usually a little warm for this time of the morning, but it does warm up pretty quickly out here. Like I said, there's not a lot of facilities out. That's why we bring so much of our stuff. I think there's an auto parts and some grocery stores and convenience stores, things like that back in Wendover. But once you get out here, we get this little truck stop here. We can get gas in. When you go out to the salt, probably ought to have at least a half a tank of gas in your vehicle, because you're gonna be running when it gets warm out here all day long. You're gonna be running with the air conditioner on, because it gets 90 degrees and there's no place to hide. You'll see up here on the right hand side, that's some of the places that camping is allowed. No camping is allowed by the Bureau of Land Management on the salt itself. You can leave vehicles out there, but people can't stay out there. This is pretty primitive over here on the right hand side. What does happen when it does rain out here is that becomes one big mud bog. So it's, you know, you can bring your camper out here, you can park. You need to bring everything you want with you, because there's nothing, they don't sell anything out here.
So Jerry, is this area right here considered not to be the salt, so camping is allowed overnight?
Right. Camping's allowed here, and you'll see occasionally, we may even see it today, there'll be some little ultralight planes that they bring out here, and they'll fly into here. They stopped letting them land on the salt a long time ago on the Bonneville salt flats. But this road we're on here goes straight out to the salt, and that's when the road ends. That's where the salt begins. And they used to have a sign out here, but I heard that they took the sign away because of all the graffiti and things that were on it. So that's a shame. Bullet holes.
I heard they put
stickers.
it in a museum somewhere.
They did. They put it in the museum here.
You think it's in that little museum that we went in last year?
I didn't go in that museum, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. I have a picture of me and my son next to that sign before they took it away.
I have a picture of you and your son sitting next to that.
Oh, good.
So this road's probably 3 or 4 miles long at least, and you generally, they don't patrol it a lot, but they do patrol it a little bit. So it's the only time you'll see passing on this will be usually in the morning when competitors are going out there. Some of the people that actually work, the stewards out on the salt, they will pass you, and they're allowed to pass you. So don't get upset if somebody comes roaring past you. It's probably just somebody that works out here trying to get to work, and so you can run. Come up, there's going to be, when we get up here, there's going to be 2 lines. The one on the left will be the one we'll go into next year. That's for the participants. The one we're in right now is for the spectators. The participants, we want to make sure when we go in next year is let me go in first with the van, and Bill will follow me in his vehicle, probably pull on the trailer. Probably, I don't know. And that way, once I get up here, I can get them the high sign to let you guys through, and they'll let you through. Whereas you go first, and this just kind of causes confusion. Now, we're doing a little bit different this year because of the COVID-19, so there's some waivers we had to sign, and I'm not really sure whether they're gonna let me in on my Bonneville National card, which normally when I get the card, I usually get a badge to kind of go with it that lets us in, and a vehicle pass. But because of the COVID-19, they didn't mail all that stuff out this year. You can see the spectator piece runs a little slower than the participant piece, because what the only thing they have to do as a participant is kind of show them the badges and the thing on their, usually the badge will be on your hat, and you need to show that when you come in. So everybody should have a badge. Maybe not the first time we go in, but when we get the bands to show what you do and you're part of the crew, we'll get the badges, and that needs to go in the hat or in some part of your clothing. So when you pull through this gate here, they can see that you got it. California, Georgia, Texas, license plates. So they got their armbands on there. Arizona, cool. Cool beans.
You want the Braille method.
All right, we're at the end of the salt.
I guess that's our new sign.
That's the new sign. The old sign is off over here to the left behind his pickup truck.
Right there.
I don't know if you can see that. So as you go on to the salt, sometimes it's pretty muddy and wet. But this looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So as you're going down here, you're going to see just a whole bunch of cones out there. And that doesn't really tell you anything where to go and what to do. So, but we're going to do this today because right out there straight in front of us is where they're going to have the riders meeting. That's usually between course 1 and 2 that they're going to do. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go down here and try to get hooked up with our package that was supposed to be sent. Now, driving around here is pretty much freestyle. It's 45 miles an hour. You can see, stay to the right of these cones here. If you get out here and you get into the wrong spots, you can get stuck. And some of them will be marked out here. Now, the guys going out there like that right now probably shouldn't be doing that. So what we're going to go down here is going to be some trailers, and that's where we're going to start off with. When we come in, when it's our time to run next year, what's going to happen is we're going to come up here and we're going to go to inspection to start off with. And we'll show you that a little bit later on, but because we want to make a stop or two before that for today to get to the riders meeting, we're going to bypass that. I'm just going to show you where the inspection is, but later on I'm going to go out there and kind of show you how they go through the inspection. Now the speed limit out here is 45. It used to be 55, but about 2 years ago, I think,
yes,
there was a collision out here, head-on collision, and killed, I think, 4 or 5 people. And believe it or not, there's a lot of almost accidents out here because it's kind of like the old West where everybody, the gold rush, everybody starts. So you might be running 4 abreast down this. It's not a single file type deal. And if you hit some soft spots, you can see some of these soft spots here. We're here, and the wheels slip. You can see some of the officials going a little bit faster than the posted speed. They can pull you over, and actually they can. I think there's a law enforcement guy that works out here. They can ticket you, or they can give you a warning and throw you off the salt. the way the deal works out here is everybody on the crew is my responsibility. So if you do something severe enough, then they can toss me off as well, and will toss me off as well for what you do. So read the rules, the Bureau of Land Management rules, no firearms, no alcohol, and all that stuff.
Looks like we have a really big soft spot dead ahead.
Yeah.
We need to go around.
Yeah, and there'll be crevices out here. The salt kind of gets together like ice, and what they'll do is kind of smooth these places off, but where they have big crevices like that, they'll fill it in with some soft salt, but it can actually get stuck in that. And out here last year in 2019, there were a lot of vehicles stuck, and we almost got stuck a lot. We were real careful about it and pulling the trailer through and where we parked and how you could get out. But generally out here, it's not a bad deal. Salt, it looks pretty hard compared to when we went out here last year, there were puddles out here.
This looks beautiful right here.
Yeah, there were puddles, big puddles. What happens is when it gets a little rain and that hasn't evaporated a lot of the water from underneath the salt, there's no place for the water to go, and so it just stands. And when there's a wind blowing, it'll be like a 1-inch tsunami going all the way across this. And if it rains and if the salt is dry, you can race that afternoon. But if it's really wet, then you're down for 2 or 3 days. And that's what we were. We were down 2 or 3 days, and we were down to 2 courses. And we could only run one of them because the other one was too short.
Yeah, we had the international course.
Is it still going?
And I think it is. Yeah, we had the international course, and then we had one short rookie course last year. That's all we had.
All right. Now, spectators will line up all up and down on this right-hand side here, and that's because that's where the start of the timed portions are, and that's course 1. That's where you're going to see all the streamliners. But all those streamliners and such, they're about at least about a quarter mile to half a mile away in case they lose control. Now normally we'd probably be pulling in here because as we go through here we can see it right up here, I think. Sometimes they don't have everything set up just right, but you can see in this area right here, just to the right where it says ice, right there, and that is the lines for the inspection, and we'll take you through those just in a little bit. But right there you can get ice out on the salt. It's $3 a bag right there. And there's a fuel truck over there, but as you can see where those porta potties there on the right hand side, that's where it starts with the vehicle and gear inspection. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later on.